Set up to record. So good evening. Welcome to the Florida Conference Pathfinder last Zoom meeting before Gillette Camporee. We are glad that you have joined us. We're excited to have so many of our leaders on the call tonight. And there's an agenda of different things that we want to go through. I'm just going to go through this one by one, and we'll open up for questions and pause here at different parts. But these are some of the final things that we've looked at and want to make sure that you're aware of and have details on. So we'll start off with the BTP patch. Some of you are wondering, when will you get your BTP patch? That will be given to you Saturday night if you're leaving Saturday night, or on Sunday morning, and that will come to you from your OAV. That's your officially appointed volunteer, your cluster coordinator, and that will come after you've signed out of your campsite. So one of the things that makes a huge difference when Camporee is over is that every club does an amazing job to clean up their camping area. The better that you have your 10, 20, 50 Pathfinders clean up your area, the less work we have to do at the end of Camporee to make sure everything is clean. So thank you for what you're doing to make sure your campsite's clean. Once your campsite's inspected, your OAV will have your patches. All right, camping space. This is probably one of the biggest things that we wanted to talk about tonight. Camping space is already locked in. What does that mean? That you had a chance to register every adult, every Pathfinder in YMMS. And that registration is what gives you your space for camping. Now, here's the deal. We already closed that. So you can still register. In fact, we're asking every adult to be registered, every Pathfinder to be registered, but the numbers for camping space, that's already set. That's already locked because we had to move in and start preparing things. So just want to make sure everybody understands that while YMMS has still been open, it is closing soon, and then it's closed and that's it. But we wanted to make sure everybody knew that those numbers were already from our last time that we closed. All right, this is regular. You're used to this. For our campsites, it's one vehicle per campsite. And every vehicle that comes in to unload, we're asking that every vehicle park inside your campsite. We are used to this. In Florida, this is what we do. And that just leaves roads open for vehicles to travel. So another thing it does is when you need to set up the area where that vehicle is, if it's more than the vehicle that's staying there, that vehicle has to be moved out so that you can set up your campsite. So please make sure any vehicles coming in that you get them in, park inside your assigned camp space. And as soon as you unload, remove that vehicle out to long-term parking so that you can have your club set up. But everybody gets one vehicle that can stay for the weekend or the week of Camporee, and just make sure that you know that. All right, check this one out. We have a different kind of environment in Gillette than what we might usually have. And that is that we need to make sure that we are preparing for different terrain. And what that means is that at Camporee, we've got some things called cactus, and we've got some things on the ground that are kind of bumpy, and they don't want us digging up or cutting down or removing plants. So you've got to work around it. And one of the suggestions is consider bringing tarps, consider bringing canvas, something to put down under your tent so that it's more protected, because the cactus plants have spikes. The spikes can puncture your tent, and they can also puncture sleeping air mattresses or inflatable mattresses. So you want to make sure that you've got that covered and that that's not there. So that's one thing we want to make sure you know. In terms of parking, there will be long-term parking. That means you can go in and out all week, and it's going to be near Florida Conference. You can park there, come in there, come out there, walk over to Florida Conference. We just ask that you make sure that you move those vehicles out, because that's the important thing. Some of you have pre-ordered merch. We're going to move to merch real quick. The Florida Conference merch, that's something that you can pick up starting at Tuesday, 10 a.m. at the Florida Conference headquarters. Tuesday, 10 a.m. at Florida Conference headquarters. And that's if you've pre-ordered. If you missed something, you want to add something, add pins, shirts, whatever it is, new purchases will start at 1 p.m. So here's what I'm going to ask. Are you guys ready for this? Please do not come before 1 p.m. on Tuesday to ask for new purchase items. Please just wait. Please do not come before Tuesday, 1 p.m. For pre-order, feel free to do it. When you come to pick up pre-order, that's all we're going to give you. So please save our office team the back and forth of, but I want to do it now or I can't come back later. Please just work with us, help us to get all that out so that we can make sure that we get everything set up and get you guys going. All right. So that's that part. And I do want to share with you, if you go to the website, and we'll go there here at the end, if you notice the back of our black t-shirt, we had to make a change, and I'll share that with you from the website later. Just want to give you a heads up there. When they pre-printed some samples for us, we looked at the back that had the Pathfinder Camporee logo, and it just didn't look good. It was too small and too much ink, and you couldn't see the details. So we've changed it up a little bit, and you'll see that on the website, and we'll go over that as well. All right, here we are. Each area will have a headquarters, and that's an important thing to understand because the headquarters will have a light tower, a canopy, a flag, a table, and a charge station. And that's where we want you to be able to connect and be able to have people help you from the headquarters to get information. Your area admins can be there. So please make sure you know every area will have a headquarters, and that's north, central, west, and south. Here's some important information. Gates. Gates will be closed at 11:59 on Monday. We've had some clubs asking us, how do I get in if I come after midnight? The answer, you don't. So please don't come. Please don't come and try, and please don't come and try to tell us, hey, I have to get in. Make arrangements with your transportation, make arrangements with your drivers, make arrangements with everybody. If you need lodging that night, make arrangements outside of Gillette if you have to. But Camporee saying 11:59 on Monday, gates closed. So that's it. Come back, be ready to go. And I think they're saying 6 a.m. is what they've said last. So starting 6 a.m. on Tuesday, you can come in, and that's going to be daylight. And once it's daylight, it's safer to set up and move around. Most people will still be sleeping probably at 6, so we do ask that you come in quietly. But please note those times, that's an important thing to have in mind. The gates will close on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Tuesday, 5 p.m., no more vehicles will be allowed to enter only foot traffic after that point. So if you know you're coming after 5 p.m. on Tuesday, plan to walk your gear in. We won't have a Kubota. We won't have a trailer. We won't have resources to be able to help you haul gear in. So we are asking all Florida clubs to please get there by 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And that will just be to your advantage to help you get in and get set up. Also, opening night is Tuesday night. So we want to keep that available to you. Now, what about gates opening on Saturday nights? The website says that at Saturday night at 7:30, when most people are already in the program, any clubs that are leaving Saturday night will be able to come in, and then those gates will close at 9 p.m. That's when foot traffic might start moving around. Gates will open again Saturday night at 11 p.m. to come in and out. So if you're planning to leave Saturday night, make sure you have that information. If you need to leave before Saturday night, 7:30, your vehicle should not be the vehicle that's staying in the campsite as your one vehicle. Like, plan ahead and say, oh, shoot, if I'm trying to leave Friday night, or if I'm trying to leave Friday afternoon, or if I'm doing something other than Saturday night, 7:30, I need to make sure that vehicle is outside and not parked in the camping area. Camporee officially will open on Tuesday at noon. So activities start, everything's running. If you arrive before noon on Tuesday, please plan to have your own plan for your Pathfinders. That means you've got something for them to do. You've got a place for them to go. You've got details for them to do, because they can't just start doing activities because they're not open. Opening program is Tuesday night, 7:45. So we encourage you to be present for that. Tuesday night, 7:45, and plan on about a 20 to 30-minute walk from our campsite over to the evening program. So please make sure that you have that plan and that you know that it's going to take a little bit of time to walk. Going down here for parking, all vehicles must park in Camporee parking. No parking pass is needed. You just drive in, drive out as you need to. A reminder again, clubs, you get one vehicle inside the campsite, and then generators. Let's go to generators real quick. If you do need to use a generator, the website says 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. Those are the hours. So 11 p.m. to 6 a.m., that means generators are off. For those of you who will have RVs, or those of you who have kitchens or refrigerators or some kind of things that you need to keep powered, you will need to power things off at 11 p.m. So if you do have anything that has to stay cold, keep things closed, and it should be okay throughout the night. And at 6 a.m., you can fire those back up. The why? The why is because fumes from generators and vehicles can be fatal if getting inside tents, and most generators have exhaust that goes straight towards the ground where kids are sleeping. Now, here's a thing that I'd like to share with you. This is the Pathfinder postcard. We have a Pathfinder postcard that we've asked for a Pathfinder to design, but we have gotten nothing yet. You'll see the link there, and this is all the link from your email as well. The whole agenda that we're going through is from the email. But what we're looking for is for you to ask your Pathfinders to design a postcard for Florida Conference. So if you have any Pathfinders who are artistic, if we could get that by Tuesday this week, July 23, and that's an email, you'll find the details at the link there. But that's something that we would ask you to do, is challenge your Pathfinders to send in a postcard, a design of what that Florida postcard could look like. So we would hope that that would be something we can still participate in. Containers, the containers that many clubs have purchased and are going to pack on July 28th on Sunday at different locations. Those will be delivered to you and waiting for you as you arrive on Monday and Tuesday. We're asking that those containers stay in your campsite during the Camporee, and that you don't disassemble them, that you keep the plastic cover in case there is inclement weather. That Saturday night, we'll cover those again. And those containers must be reloaded in Gillette at 9 a.m. on Sunday, August 11th. So we can pick them up with a forklift, drive them back over to the truck. There's a link in this document for you to see the schedule. We're going to go over that here in a little bit on the website as well. Florida Conference clubs. This is a big one. We'll have one check-in with Florida Conference. This is using your YMMS ticket and photo ID for adults. Each person attending must have their YMMS ticket and check in person. Every person in person. Adults must be cleared in Sterling, registered in YMMS to check in. They must check in first with Florida Conference to be cleared with Florida Conference, and then check in with Camporee. Camporee asks us as a conference to only allow adults in that are cleared in Sterling. That's why we're asking all adults to check in with us first with that photo ID. And after you've checked in with us, then we'll give you a Florida Conference wristband, and that will clear you to go check in with your Camporee ticket. So that's an important piece. Make sure that everyone comes with their YMMS ticket. So if you're a director and you know you've got 5 different vehicles and families coming in at 5 different times in the day and you're not sure when, make sure each of those families has their YMMS tickets for everyone in their vehicle, so that when they get there, they come in, they go to check in, they check in with Florida, they're done with us, they get their wristband, then they go check in with Camporee. So please make sure every person has a ticket, digital or printed, and every person is registered in YMMS. This document is something that has 2 important sets of phone numbers, medical and security. These are phone numbers that if there is an emergency, we're asking clubs to call these numbers. Camporee has said, please do not call 911. Please call these numbers instead. And the reason is that we want to make sure that the traffic goes through the Camporee and straight through to the people there. So that's an important part, that we don't go and clog up 911, but that we would come through these numbers. So save them in your phone, add them in your contact list. Don't leave this as something that you have to look for later. All right.
Pastor Pedro?
Yes, sir.
Are you looking at the chat?
I am not, but I did see that some chat was coming. And now that we're done with the first page, I was going to pause for a moment and get a chance to check up there. All right. So let's go to the chat. What are the questions from the chat? Let's go over there. So I have, when can a club get their camping measurements? Stay on. We're going to get that here in a little bit. We're going to share that with you. Can we get dimensions? Yes, that's coming. May a coach bus bring us to our campsite? The coach bus won't get you exactly to your campsite, But you can get to a place where you can unload and you'll have to haul your gear across. But don't count on the coach bus going everywhere because the roads are narrow, 20 feet. Club spaces are not finalized. Yep, thanks, George, for answering that, but we'll give you an idea of that tonight. Some people are trying to get in the meeting, not sure what the problem is, Mozart. If you can text again and Stephen can help get them in. There will be water in the campsite. I'll share that with you here in a moment. How much square foot per camper? It's 100 square feet per camper is what we're building it on. Do you need to print your Gillette tickets or e-tickets? I believe print or e is fine for Camporee. For YMMS, someone's asking, what is a YMMS ticket? That's a little scary. A
That's scary.
YMMS ticket is a Youth Ministries Management System ticket. You have to be registered if you're a Florida Conference Club with Florida Conference through YMMS, which is our registration. So all Florida clubs have two registrations, one with Florida, one with Camporee. So that's something that we want to make sure everyone has. So I'm not sure where Marie is from or how we can help you, but we need to make sure that we get that to you. And then there's another Carolyn. So yeah, we've got some people who need some help with that. Maybe Leah, if you could follow up with them with private messages and see what their thing is and how we can get them, because there is a difference. YMMS ticket is Florida Conference, but you have to have a Florida Conference registration to be allowed to go get a Camporee check-in. So it's a two-stage step. All right. For those leaving on Saturday night, will D-containers be available? The D-container will be available because it's staying in your camping area. So yes, it's available. You have it for the whole week. So that will be there. And for those who are bringing tents or poles or other things based on the list that we have of what you qualify for, based on how many containers you have pre-ordered and paid for, that's going to be the stuff that you have to haul by hand over to a specified area so we can load your stuff from that area, your extra gear. Can someone arrive on the 4th? No, you cannot. You won't be allowed on the campgrounds of Camplex until Monday, 8 a.m. So please don't come earlier. And if you can't find a hotel, then find a hotel outside of Gillette for that night. And that's what many are going to have to do. Casper will have hotels. Douglas has hotels. It's about an hour, 2 hours away. So that's what you're going to have to do. Can our chartered bus come in and wait until the gate opens? We did talk about that, and it's in your agenda, the hours for the bus to come in. The bus can come in between 7:30 and 9, and then come in again at 11. YMMS ticket, you print from YMMS. Thank you, Leah, for responding. Camporee ticket, you print from camporee.org. Your flight departs on Sunday at 12. We need to leave camp at 4 a.m. Okay. So I think that's not a problem. I just recommend that you do all your packing and all your stuff as much as you can. And your neighbors probably aren't going to like very much that you're waking up. Please don't make noise at 4 a.m. Our site's going to have markers.
They're
Yes, they
asking
will
what
have
time
markers.
I think they're thinking that the gate won't be open for them to leave.
And yeah, so it will be.
Okay.
Once the gate opens at 11, it won't close that night. Thank you for the clarification. 94 campers in Revive. We did talk about that. Measurements coming. How many baths per camper? Hopefully daily. I'm not sure. Maybe it's how many showers are available. There'll be enough. CYE Zoom meeting, register the club. Yes, first go to Florida, then go over to Camporee. And tickets that were resold, if you have tickets that you resold, those tickets should have been transferred electronically over to people. Is the truck starting in the camp? I'm not sure what that means. Is the truck starting in the Camporee ground? Please clarify that again. Registration person by person. So for Florida, it's everyone in person. For Florida check-in with a YMMS ticket, it's every person in person. For Camporee, it's just the tickets because they've asked us to verify all of the background checks. For them, it's just once we've cleared you, then you can go over. The canopy with poles need to be open with poles exposed, leave it on the box. So yes, we're asking all your poles and tents to come to a designated area. We'll show you that there at Gillette. Yes, the bus can get in at 11 p.m. And are the sites going to have markers? Yes. For Florida check-in, everything individual needs to be present for the ticket. For Camporee check-in, it can be one person. Yes, you answered that correctly. Tickets resold after the transfer period. It doesn't mean that now tickets have account for your camping space. That's the only thing that's changed. Tickets can still be exchanged, Camporee tickets, all the way up until the end of Camporee. If somebody wants to buy your ticket on Friday, you can sell it to them if you still have a ticket. But those ticket numbers no longer are changed through Camporee, no longer are changed through Florida in terms of us changing your camping numbers. Before, that all counted. So if I had 5 tickets that I bought from another club in Florida, I would get 5 more camping spaces. But now we've passed that deadline and it's just moving forward. Yes,
You
you
have two
can still
hands.
register in YMMS.
You have 2 hands raised on the screen.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get through all the
Gotcha.
messages. I'm
Okay.
almost done.
Gotcha.
Can the canopy company come in and set up? So that's a tricky one because we have to set up your campsite before we can let a canopy company come in because they need to know where your canopy will go. And if you don't have someone on site, which you won't on Sunday because you're not allowed in until Monday, 8 a.m., then that canopy company is going to set up a tent and you're going to have to live with it. So we recommend that you would wait until Monday for your canopy company to come in so you can be there, someone from your club to guide them where to go, what to do, and how to do that. The truck is staying on the campground. Yes, there'll be charging stations. That's in your agenda. And yes, you can still, yes, Leah said that correctly. You can register people in YMMS until July 23, 1 p.m. After that, YMMS will close. And after that, if you're still trying to register people, when you get on site, it's going to be up to that person to come with their printed white or sterling background check details and all their printed information to prove that they have a background check with their photo ID. Because that's something that we're going to ask to be on you. We've extended the deadline and we're still extending the deadline. But July 23, YMMS will close. No one else will be approved in YMMS, so you won't have a ticket. You won't have a quick check-in. Because you won't have a ticket, we'll send you to a different side. So for your ease of checking in with Florida, your YMMS tickets should all be done. If you're bringing your own truck and bringing in the container, no, the Camporee does not provide forklifts. Florida won't provide forklifts. However, there is a form that you can fill out. Camporee says that they'll offer to help with a forklift, but I don't know how dependable that will be. So please check with Camporee. There's a form for that on the website. Type in forklift in the search, and that should be able to help you. There is no uniform inspection and campsite inspection on Sabbath morning. That's listed in the Camporee schedule, but Florida did not decide to do that. And so that's not there. All right, I think I'm up to date on those. Can you remove someone that is not coming from YMMS? At this point, no, just leave them there. Just don't print their ticket. If someone's coming from YMMS and someone's registered in YMMS, but they're no longer coming, let's just let them be. We're not going to change all that. All right, let's take 2 hands and then go back to the second half of our agenda. And then we want to jump into the website and then we want to jump into the campsite details and get your phones ready. You'll want to take a picture of the screen so you'll see where you are, where you're camping and what you're doing. We've got a preliminary map ready for you tonight. It still may change as we get back on site and make adjustments, but that's coming.
Okay,
All right,
Marlene was first. Hunt was first.
Yes, thank you. Let's go to Sister Hunt.
I just need clarity on the bus entrance for clubs leaving on Saturday night. You said the bus can get on site at 6 p.m. and get off?
No. The agenda reminds you that the bus can come in starting at 7:30 when the gates open. 7:30 Saturday night when the gates open. They'll close and won't reopen again until 11.
Okay, so if a bus gets on at 7:30 and gets off before 9.
That would be a possibility, yes.
Okay, question number
From 7:30 to 9 Saturday p.m., the gate should be open for a bus to come in, load, and exit. And that's right during the closing program as well, just so you know.
Thank you. Question number 2, it has to do with YMMS and tickets. I did print all my tickets for my club pretty much for both CYE and for further conference. However, things happen, and what if there is somebody who purchased a ticket and can no longer go, but a parent was recently added in YMMS to save all of that money? I just want clarity on how that person can get on the campsite. Once they have clearance, at this time I cannot print a ticket for them, but they'll be able to get on campsite if they have proof of clearance in Sterling. Is that correct?
Yes, so what we just said was July 23, 1 p.m., that's coming up Tuesday, 1 p.m. Anyone who is not registered in YMMS, they will have to come with proof of their Sterling, proof of all their stuff, and they will be allowed in that way. But it's best if this adult that now can come and has completed Sterling, that you register them through YMMS before it closes July 23, 1 p.m., and then you just print them a ticket and they have no issues when they get there. That's the best case scenario. Okay. Thank you. Anything else?
No, that is for it. That is it.
All right. Let's go to Mozart and then we'll jump in and hit some more content.
Thank you. Two questions. First, with the Florida conference check-in, when you said each individual will have to check in, does that mean that all of my kids will have to get off the bus and come to the desk or whatever to check in? Or as a leader, I can check everybody in?
Thank you for the question. So for buses, we'll do similar to what we do at Red Zone. We'll have somebody get on the bus. We ask that each Pathfinder have their ticket, and we would go through the bus and scan all the tickets and clarify and verify that everybody's on and with the right name and the right ticket, similar to what we do at Red Zone. So a whole bus does not have to get out. We will have somebody to go meet you at the bus and check you in.
Excellent. Thank you. And the second one, with regard to the tent company, I got the name of the tent company off of Camporee website. Is it safe to assume that Camporee would have provided these companies specific instructions as to when they should begin coming on site, because they know when they're going to open the gates and allow these companies to come in? So, or we're going to have to truly reach out to these companies. And it's been very difficult for me to reach out to this tent company. I forget the name, but they haven't been very easy to reach. So I just want to know if, because Camporee put them on the site, maybe they provided them with some instructions.
Yeah. So I would say no. And here's why: because every conference is managing their camping area, not Camporee, not the Camporee itself. So they just said, here are organizations, companies that you can use, but it's up to the club to contact the company to go through details. And here's an important thing. When we're setting up, the union will arrive on Monday and set up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and define where the conferences will go. Conferences will start setting up Thursday and Friday to determine where the clubs will go. If we haven't set up where your club goes and a tent company comes, we're going to have to tell them either you wait or come back Monday because we're not ready for you. So please don't have them come on Thursday or Friday. And if that's their company's plan, then we don't know where to tell them to put the tent. We might not even know where the tent is going to go on your campsite. So to avoid confusion and avoid issues, we're recommending to clubs to contact the tent company that's bringing a tent, ask them to not come until Monday, and then make sure that you have someone from your club there by Monday, 8 a.m. to check in, get over to the campsite, and then make sure that they are able to say, this is where we want our tent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, please make sure you follow up on that, because otherwise we won't know what to do. And if they just say, I got to put it up now and put it up, then you're going to have to adjust your whole camp layout according to them. And that's assuming that we've got our part done, but we need time to do that. And we need until Sunday to finish all our mapping out and setting up of the campsites. All right, we'll take one more question and then we're going to slide over to, I think I'm going to hit the chat again and then we'll go back to our
Elizabeth and her cat has a.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you. Elizabeth.
Pastor, buenas noches, buenas noches. Pastor, tengo una situación. dos de las personas que iban a ir tienen situación, tienen que viajar por una situación de emergencia, no van a ir, pero esos tickets yo los compré del Southern, de otra conferencia. Entonces ahora yo necesito vender esos tickets porque no me puedo quedar con dos tickets, porque ellos ya decidieron que no pueden ir. Entonces, ¿qué debo hacer yo ahora?
Okay, so the question is, she has two adults who, for an unforeseen circumstance, have to leave and won't be attending Camporee. And she's like, what do I do with those two tickets? So good question. Lo que puede hacer es mandar un correo a Lía a ver, porque hay clubes que están llamándonos, comunicando con nosotros. Necesitamos dos boletos. Hasta clubes de Washington, del estado de Washington, están pidiendo. Florida tiene boletos extra. Así que mándale un email a Lía para que ella vea si podemos juntarte con un comprador.
Ok, pastor, yo tengo un comprador, no va a haber ningún problema si yo le mando a la persona, es una hermana que me está pidiendo del Florida Conference también, no habrá ningún problema, yo sí le puedo mandar por email los tickets cuando
Sí,
ella me
no
pague.
habrá problema, no va a cambiar su espacio para acampar, ni va a cambiar el espacio del otro club para acampar.
Okay.
Ese número no va a cambiar, pero sí se puede cambiar los boletos.
Ok, entonces, pero yo los puedo, o sea, los tickets que yo recibí, puedo enviárselos a ella cuando ella me pague. Ok,
Sí.
ok, pastor,
So
gracias.
the comment was, I have a club from Florida who wants to buy my 2 extra tickets, so can I sell them to them? And my answer was yes, you can sell them to another club, but they're not going to get more camping space, and we're not going to take camping space away from you. So at this point, all that is locked in terms of camping space. All right, let me try to go back through the chat and see if we can catch up, and then we're gonna have to move forward. So sites with markers, yes. Charging stations, yes. Okay, I think I'm back to where we were. Wi-Fi access, don't count on it. Rent golf carts, already sold out. David, please send me a name. Okay, that's private. Leah, every ticket is assigned to a person. Transferred. Yeah, so don't try to use a YMMS ticket that was for somebody else, for somebody new, if you've changed them. Tickets aren't transferable in YMMS. You can't print a ticket that's for Pedro Perez and have Steven Stewart use it. Please don't do that. We won't accept that ticket. Only print a ticket that has the name of the person actually using the ticket, and go to a separate space to get that cleared up. If you have a ticket that was for somebody, but now you had somebody else because somebody had to switch, just let us know that, but don't try to get that. Right now, we don't have a WhatsApp group. That's a good idea. We'll look into that. You are not supposed to call 811 dig. We're going to do that for you. The stake, this is for when you set up your tents. The website says don't use more than a 6-inch stake when you set up your tents. We're going to have that called so that we can go through, and we're going to do that for the whole Florida conference area. So we'll be looking for that. Some people in the chat are saying they have tickets, want to buy tickets. Yes, gray water pumping for RV sites will be available for a fee, and you have that, and then more people with tickets. Okay, so let me switch us over to the back side of the agenda. So please come with me there, and then we want to hit the website real quick for some updates there, and then we want to go to sharing some maps with some preliminary campsite information for you. All right, so this is just a reminder. First stop, we're back to the agenda, Camporee. With Camporee, you want to check in first with Florida Conference with your YMMS ticket, get your Florida Conference wristband on, and then your second stop will be with Camporee. Please note, Camporee will have 8 different booths set up. One of those 8 booths will just be Florida. Only Florida Conference check-in. Before Florida Conference clubs go over to one of the other 7 booths to check in with Camporee, you have to come through us. Camporee knows that when a Florida Conference club comes up, they'll have to show their Florida Conference wristband to check in with Camporee. That's a deal that we've made with them, and so just watch for that. So once you go to Camporee, that's where you'll take your ticket to a separate booth, but it's all in the same area. 8 booths together, one will be Florida, it will be labeled. The other 7 will be Camporee, but it's all in the same area. Instead of going In two different places, it's all one area, but two different stops. Camporee does have different color wristbands, and we want to make sure you know this because the wristband color matters, and it's different colors for different groups. For juniors, 9 to 12, it's green. Staff child, 4 to 8 is yellow. Adults will be blue. Teens will be red, and day passes will be lime green and orange. We just want to make sure that you have that information. We did talk about this when we were in the chat. Tuesday, July 23, YMMS will close. It's done. No more adding people in YMMS, but any changes that have to be made, it's up to the adults to make sure that when they come, they're eligible in Sterling and cleared in YMMS so that we can look them up and make sure that all that's set. So please don't delay. Get registered in YMMS. If you miss the deadline, that person must show proof of Sterling eligibility at the gate or not be allowed to enter. And that's a limitation Camporee put on conferences, because Camporee is saying conferences know your people. You've got to make sure that's clear, and only after you've checked in with Florida will you be allowed to go check in with Camporee. All right, now this next piece, please make sure that you note this. Do not go to Florida Conference camping area to set up your campsite until you've checked in with Florida and with Camporee. Please make sure you know that. When you get to the L gate, which is the gate Florida Conference will come through, if you don't have a Florida Conference band, if you don't have a Camporee band, we'll send you back. You won't be allowed to come into the Florida Conference camping area. So please come only after you've checked in, both with Florida and with Camporee, and everybody has their bands on. We don't want to send you back around, but we will if we have to. So please just make sure that you're aware of that. In terms of baptism, we've got a lot of Pathfinders from Florida that want to be baptized, and they've been sending information in, so we're thankful for that. Eartha is organizing that, and there are 2 steps to getting baptized, so we want to make sure clubs know that. One is with Florida, so we know what's going on, and the other one is with Camporee at the website. The links are there for you in your agenda. On Sabbath, oh, just real quick, for baptisms, 900 Pathfinders already have signed up to be baptized. Like already, they've decided we want to be baptized at Camporee. Almost 1,000 Pathfinders. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, good one. Do it again. Do it again. All right. For Sabbath, August 10, also Master Guides will do an investiture. Keep us informed on that. We want to make sure that you keep that going. For in and out, with your Camporee wristband, you can come in and out of the camping area and go through the foot gates. Notice this next one. Florida Conference clubs are asked to enter Camplex to set up the campsites only through the L gate or gate L. And notice this distinction. They were asked to come in only from the north side, which means off of Highway 59 onto Fox Park Ave and then to L gate. They're asking Florida clubs do not go through Box Elder and turn onto Fox Park Ave, because that will create some congestion, because we've got 4 other conferences coming through those areas. So if you come from the north, turning down off of Highway 59 to Fox Park Ave, and we're going to show you a map in a moment, that would be the place that they want Florida clubs to use. So come in only from the north as you come to the Florida campsite. So you checked in with Florida, you checked in with the Camporee, you got your wristbands, you come out, you come around, and you come into the Florida camping area. Florida clubs are invited to help monitor bathhouses. Florida Conference has Tuesday and Sabbath, and we do need 28 volunteers every 4 hours, and Eartha is helping manage that. So please look through that if you want to help. Wednesday PM, Florida Conference is invited to participate with Southern Union flag lowering, and Jose Diaz is the contact for that. Thursday PM, starting at 5:30 for preparation, is baptism for Southern Union Florida Conference, and Eartha is our contact for that. Southern Union daily on-site parade is Friday AM. And all are invited to attend. Every Florida Conference Pathfinder can come be a part of that parade. Eartha is the contact for that. The medical consent form. Every person should have on their person at all times a medical consent form. Camporee has created that form. The link is there in your agenda that you were emailed. So please make sure you have that. Talking about insurance now. Insurance, if you're chartering a bus that has a driver, the bus company must provide a certificate of liability insurance, naming the church and the conference as additional insured. They must have both primary liability and excess or umbrella with a total of no less than 3 million. So those of you who are chartering a bus, please confirm that with your bus company. For those renting cars, your insurance for those vehicles renting for your club must be through Florida Conference. That's a policy of $1 million coverage, and that's something that we want you to have. So please make sure that you have that if you're renting a vehicle. Travel insurance. Each person attending BTP is required to have travel insurance through Adventist Risk Management. It's a $9.61 investment for every person attending with your club, and this is something that is required. There is a $20 fee when you fill out the form to add all your people. So we recommend you do it one time. But there are several layers of insurance for your bus, for your car rentals, for your travel, and we want to make sure you have that. Let me say this about travel insurance. This is something that was explained to us even this weekend. Travel insurance is primary with 0 deductible, and it's for medical injuries that happen on the way to, during, and on the way home from Camporee. This is not for pre-existing conditions, but it's for things that happen. So if a Pathfinder rolls their ankle and has to go to the emergency room or has to go into the clinic, that will be covered through this travel insurance. So that's why it's so important to make sure that you have this. So it's primary and there's a $0 deductible. Another thing, past 15 passenger vans are not allowed. So we're asking you not to use those. In fact, Camporee is telling us to remind clubs not to come in them. And even some 12 passenger vans. Those are even sometimes not the right length of wheelbase and all that. So just be careful. We're recommending clubs get SUVs or get minivans so that those are not the big 15 passenger vans, which you're not allowed to take. There are some fire extinguisher requirements that you see here, and that's something that you have available to you. And remember, no fire extinguishers in your containers. So that's the second half of our agenda. And I see that there's some more hands, and we want to get to the website, and then we want to get to the camping dimensions. So let's take a few more questions. Let's start with Elizabeth. Is your hand still up from before, or is this a new question?
De la primera pregunta, sorry, Pastor.
Okay, está bien. Mozart, another question.
Yes, and I don't want to make any assumptions. Those numbers that you provided for emergency situations, will those be the same numbers, regular numbers we can reach out to Florida Conference headquarters for anything, or will there be a different number?
So those numbers will connect you directly to fire and to police.
Okay.
And medical.
So, well, okay. So as Florida Conference has done in the past, will there be a number for us to reach out to you guys directly?
Yes, we do have a cell number, and I will put that in the chat, and we will make sure clubs get that on the website as well.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good call. All right, let's go over to Sister Hunt.
Yes, Pastor. Again, I just need clarity on the registration, because you said earlier we're going to enter through the L gate, and we must first clear with Further Conference. And when I spoke to CYE, they said that we had until midday Tuesday to get our wristbands. Did I understand you to say that there's going to be booths close by, and CYE, we go through to you and then we can go over to CYE, which is close to Further Conference? I missed that.
Yeah, so thank you for the clarification. So there are booths at the Camporee check-in area that is not close to Florida Conference camping area. So typically you would check in with Florida at the event, but because of limited Wi-Fi and all that, we've moved our check-in to where Camporee check-in is. So Florida check-in first, Camporee check-in next. They're all in the same area with the 8 booths. 1 booth is Florida, 7 booths are Camporee. Okay. That's one section of the Camporee. And I'm going to share a map with you here in a moment. You'll go to another place where the L gate is, and that's where, with your wristbands, that's where you enter Florida Conference camping area after you've checked in with FLC and with Camporee.
So first we need to go to the check-in area, starting with Florida Conference and then move to CYE. Then we go back to the L gate to enter into the Florida Conference camping ground. Is that it?
That is a correct understanding. Yes, Sister Hunt.
I actually, that's not how I interpreted what you just said. So just clarity. When you come, you don't go first to Florida Conference at Gate L. You go over to CYE, and that's where Florida Conference check-in will be, near CYE. And then from there, you go to CYE, get your Camporee tickets, and then you come around and enter to Gate L. Is that correct?
What you said is correct, and what I heard Sister Hunt say is
Okay.
correct. I think it was the same thing.
But it's Florida Conference first. So we're coming straight, all the booths are in one area, but we're coming to Florida Conference first.
So as long as we understand this, Florida Conference booth and then CYE Camporee booth, and those are all in the same area, and those booths are not close to the camping area. So go to 2 booths, Florida Conference, Camporee, all in the same area. Leave there with your wristbands, go to Florida Conference camping area at the L gate, and then enter the camping area.
And
Does that help?
This is on our bus. This is before we disembark our bus. So are we able to move when we come? We're coming straight to the booth. Will we be the bus be able to take us there, or because everyone needs to have their individual check-in for YMMS? And from my understanding previously is that the director could have gone to CYE to check in the club with the number of tickets and get the wristband. Now that has changed. So am I to understand that when we get to camp, we're coming directly to, say, if we get you at 8 a.m., which is when we can enter the campsite, we have to go directly to the booths to be checked in from Florida Conference and CYE. Then we move to the campsite.
Yes, and what we're saying is when you go to the booth starting at 8 a.m. Monday, Florida Conference will have a mobile unit that will go to your bus and get on your bus to check you in on the bus, where everyone has a ticket, everyone's using their YMMS ticket. All that's done on the bus if you want to. If you want to park the bus, walk everybody in, you can do that too. For Florida Conference YMMS, you can stay on the bus or bring the bus with kids to the check-in area in the booth. Once you're done there, you, as director for the club, if you have all of your Camporee tickets and you have your wristband, the director alone can go to Camporee with 20 tickets, get 20 wristbands based on the colors and ages, walk back to the bus and get them dispersed to the kids. And then from there, leaving the booth to check in, drive around to the L gate.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good clarification. All right, yes, contact Jose Diaz if you want to do flag. Every Pathfinder needs a medical consent form, every individual, and that should be with you as you travel. So if you're traveling with 10 kids in one SUV or 7 kids in a minivan, all of those forms need to be with that vehicle. And then during the Camporee, they should have it on their person throughout the Camporee. Medical form, I didn't know the medical forms were different, so I can't answer that one. You purchased travel insurance not through YMMS. You purchased that through a link. Leah or Stephen, can you post that link in the chat? The medical insurance. I'll show you on the website. You can get it from our Florida Conference website. We'll get to that in a second. Contact Florida Conference for rental insurance. You contact Rhonda. And if someone can put Rhonda Harper's email in the chat for car rental insurance. And 15 passenger vans are not allowed in other states. This isn't just Florida being picky. It's no one's allowed to do it. And contact Eartha for the parade. Her number is in the agenda. And Eartha, if you could add your number in the chat. Sign up for the showers. She put the link there. Elevated contained propane campfires. No open fires will be allowed. If you use a fire, it's for cooking only. And I can send Rosangel needs email for vegetarian food. Go to the camporee.org website. They'll have it there. Parade info, Eartha put that up. Can staff check in if they arrive early or only the director? Anybody who arrives with their YMMS ticket can check in when they get there. Come to Florida booth, check in with Florida, go to CYE, check in with Camporee, and then go over to the Florida campsite with your wristbands on. You'll be allowed in. Emerald, yes. Staff can check in. All right, some people are answering that. All right, let's go to Richard. What's your question?
Hey, Pastor. So one question is, well, it might not be a question, but we ordered the Southern Union shirt, and some of the shirt on the back of it says Southern Union, but then some of our shirt doesn't say Southern Union on it.
The ones you got from Atlanta Graphics?
The one you order online, through the website.
Okay, so I would say Atlanta Graphics will have a booth on site. So I would take the shirts that don't have it or email him in advance and say, hey, this many shirts, these sizes, didn't have the printing on the back. Can we get them at Camporee and you can exchange them? And I would check with them on that. The Southern Union shirt was a different company and that's not with Florida, but they have contact info where you ordered those shirts and you can find that link at our website as well. And then you can get that information there. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, Eartha, and then one more question, and then I want to go to the website and then get to the
Okay.
camping details.
Okay, so Pastor Pedro, I just wanted to clarify because you mentioned the 4-hour blocks of time and the link that I dropped when they go to sign up is going to be in 2-hour blocks of time. We
Thank
do
you for
need
that.
them for 4 hours. So you can either do back-to-back 2 hours or you could do 2 hours and then come back, take a break and come back 2 hours later. And that's the link that you'll see. So we do need individuals for 4 hours, but we split it up to make it a little bit more easier to kind of give you a break or something
you.
like that. So you'll see that when you go to sign up. That's one. And then for the parade, we've decided, I think Florida Conference, I dropped the link so that they can watch for the recording that was done last week for clubs to get better clarification. But we met as a committee and we decided, I think for Florida Conference, just wanted to reiterate here that we will be in Class A uniform. And there's some information additional that they will see on that video. And I'm asking everyone to kind of please review it to get because I don't think you're going in depth on that with here, reviewing it here of any kind, right? I don't think so.
Correct.
Okay, so that will give them an idea about the route, what to expect. More details when we'll line up at the Florida Conference. The time is Friday morning at 9 a.m. We'll meet there and then we'll move into the Union and then kind of continue with the parade. Who will be leading out? The directors will be doing calling the like eyes right at the grandstand for each of the clubs. We just want to make sure that they've gotten all those details to be well prepared for for the parade on Friday. So some of that is what they'll see. And we're asking them to please review that as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Eartha. Great details. All right, let's go to the next hand with the iPhone. Okay, I'm going to lower the hand. We can come back or you can unmute later. All right, let's go over to this. I want you to see this map. So please check out on your screen. This is the big map that was updated on 7/17. So this is the latest map from camporee.org. You should see it filling up your screen. Do you see a map?
Yes, we do.
Okay, very good. So this is the big map. This is the road I was talking about. It's Highway 59. This is Fox Park Ave. This is the road I was telling you. So coming in from the north means you come in off this highway, and here is Elgate, where it says Southern. What they're saying don't do is come in from the bottom on Box Elder Road and come in this way, because there are other gates with other unions trying to get in through all here, 5 other gates. This way, the only gate you have to go through is L. So it's probably less traffic for you. And before we zoom in, I want to also point out that there is RV parking here. For those of you who have RVs that you're bringing in, you didn't buy a campsite and you want a dry camp, no hookups, no electricity. This is an RV site. There's overflow tent camping, which is over here on this side. And then this grid is where the evening program is. So you'll notice from where Florida Conference is camping in here, there's this yellow walking path. And that's where you should plan 15 or 20 to 30 minutes to get from back here all the way over here. So that's just the big picture for the camping. But then the other thing I want you to see is this is where the Florida clubs will be. It's in, again, off of Highway 59, Fox Park Ave, and here is the L gate. This is the road where clubs will come in, they'll drive in, they'll get up to here. We have clubs camping back all through here. So that's where you are. In terms of, someone asked earlier, where's water? How do I find water for my campsite? That's where I want you to see this real quick. Each of these little boxes here on the map, those are portlets and water stations, portlets and water stations. So they're all throughout our campsite, portlets and water stations. Down here are the main showers for Florida Conference. So you'll walk through here. There's a walking gate that will be here, and you'll have access to male and female showers here. That was also a question. So if you go to Camporee and look for the map, these are your water and portlets. These are the showers for Florida Conference. I just wanted to make sure that everyone got a chance to see that. Another thing before we leave the map and go over to the website is that there is a station they're calling it Grand Central Station. And Grand Central Station is over here on the map in this area. Whoops. So here's Grand Central Station. This is where all the buses and all the shuttles, that's where everything will happen here in terms of shuttles and transportation. So if you need to go to do groceries, come to Grand Central Station. If you need to go to an offsite activity like one of the athletic centers, this is Grand Central Station. So you'd walk down the walking path, come out here, and that would get you over there. So that's where I want you to just know what that big map looks like, all right? Next, I want to go to our Florida Conference website and share several things with you from there. So let's look at our website real quick. We have some updates, and I want you to see those. We're gonna talk a little bit about containers as well. So on the Florida Conference website, this is btp.floridaconference.com, where all Florida clubs should be very familiar with this. This has been our website. When you come down here on the opening page, here's the baptism guidelines and the check. And this is where you get information. So if you have someone being baptized, if you come down to the red box and go on Florida info for Florida clubs, there's also a link to the Camporee page and other things. But we want to walk through a couple details with you here. So look down here on the web page. You'll see that the tickets are purchased through Camporee. Decontainers were sold out, but here are the details we want you to see. Items not allowed. This is a big one that we want to make sure clubs see, that items are not allowed. Thank you for muting your device. So here's the items that aren't allowed. Please make sure you see that there are no generators allowed on the truck and different things. Don't put any medication. Don't put anything explosive. Don't put any lighters. Some of you are going to use lighters for cooking. Those cannot go in the container because it has fuel and it also is combustible. So please make sure that you're not using that, and that will help us. Let me go.
Pastor, someone was asking in the chat a pertinent question in relation to the map. They wanted to know, where are the parking for car? Where are the booths, the CYE, and the Florida booths that we talked about, where they must go first?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm not sure where that location is, so we'll mail that to you. We'll email that to you. They have not communicated that to me, so I can't tell you with precision where that location is. Here you'll find also there's container information, and then here's the loading schedule. So we're back to the website. We're looking at this. This is something we want to make sure all clubs understand and know. The loading is very important because if you miss these loading times and locations, or if you go to the wrong location, your container won't get on the truck. It has to be at the right location. So make sure you're watching this. The North clubs, here's where you are. Central clubs, West clubs, starting at 8 a.m., done at 12 p.m. And then the South clubs, they're starting some Saturday night, but then everybody else is welcome to come on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then I just want to make sure that everybody sees this. August 4 is when we'll deliver those containers. We just ask that you don't take it apart and keep the plastic wrap. And then also Sunday, August 11, that's when we'll start reloading. And then there's even an unload schedule of what day. It's August 18 Sunday, what times in each of the locations. All this information is online at the website. So we want to make sure that you get that information and that you have it so that you don't get left behind or left out. So please make sure that you're following those details. All right.
Pastor Pedro.
Yes.
Sorry to cut in here, but we would like, remember, would like to inform the clubs that come in to load their decontainer, just in case it rains, they should have something to cover their decontainer because they are loading it in the open area.
Yeah, thank you for that. That's good. All right. So here is another form that we have here with the tables and canopies, and many clubs are still asking us, what do we have? What do we get? What are we eligible for? If you purchased the decontainer, go to the website. It tells you all the things. Each club that has purchased a container, at least one, is allowed one 10 by 10 canopy, up to 4 tables, 6 foot or 8 foot, and 1 kitchen tent with poles. All items must be marked with the club name on each item, each pole, each bag, each everything. You have to make sure that your club name is on it, because if things get shifted around or shuffled, then it will be hard to know. Now, clubs that are bigger, they get more things. In addition to this minimum set, they'll also get additional things. So if you have more than 40, more than 60, more than 100, there are additional items. All this is a document that lives on our website, and you can find the information there. So please go to btp.org and you'll get all that you need. All right. So let me go out of there, come back through this one, share a few more things, and then we're going to get to some maps to help you. So
Pedro, one more thing. I'm sorry, one more thing. We want the club to know that only the decontainer, the table, and the tent, the cooking tent or the pole will be allowed on the truck. Don't bring an extra duffy bag. Don't bring an extra box. There's no room for it on the truck.
Thank you. Yeah, it must fit in the container or be only the things that we specified on that document. This is what the check-in list will look like. So the club that's going, so this is, if you're wondering, well, I don't remember, am I going to load at the conference? Am I going to load at Camp Kalakwa? Am I going to load down in Miami? This will tell you if you're central and the central clubs that are there and how many containers we have record of you having. So all that's listed on the website. We ask that you review that and make sure that it's all true and that it's all accurate and that our records reflect your records. It says what time you arrive, that you get a list of non-inspected items. We will have OAVs present to make sure that nothing goes in that shouldn't. We'll put labels on your container. We'll wrap your container. We'll write down the number of containers that we've loaded, what extra items you've added, and an OAV will sign off with their name and signature to say this club had their containers loaded. So that's our record of what we put on the truck that is your equipment and your gear. So just want to make sure that you see kind of what we're looking at and how we're planning to make sure this is organized and that we take care of your equipment. Let me come back here to the website real quick. You see Florida Conference pins. You see that this is all Florida Conference, btp.florida conference. Merch is closed. You can purchase stuff. Here's where you pick up pre-ordered stuff. Here's where you start. We did that. This is a list of prices for merch on site. So you can go there if you want to. We're encouraging everybody who bought this shirt to wear it Wednesday. We're encouraging everyone who buys the black shirt to wear it Thursday. And I want you to see, this is the back of the shirt. That's what's changed. It says BTP Camporee 2024. So that's a change for the back of the shirt. Just want to give you a heads up on that. And then if you go down here, you'll see the Southern Union shirt. This is sold out. The ordering time has passed, but if you go to this link, Richard, I think you had a question about the back of the shirt. You can find out information there. The postcard contest, we had that for you if you wanted more information. These are our pins in case you needed what they look like. And then here's the travel insurance. Someone asked, where do I find travel insurance? The form is here. You can go to Adventist Risk Management there. So please go to the BTP Florida Conference website, and that will get you what you need. And then there's some other stuff, but those are things we wanted you to see from the website. All right. let me open back up for questions, and then we're going to move to our preliminary maps of the camping areas. That's where we want you to get your phones out and click the screens, take a screenshot so you start to see where we've aligned clubs. I will remind you, this is a temporary layout. This isn't something that's final. We just want to make sure that you start to see what things are going to look like. All right. Questions? Marie.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Pedro, you said for the RV there is purchase RV site to have water and electricity.
Yes.
I remember you sent a link to put how many people going if you have RV, and I fill out that form. Did we have to purchase an RV where my campsite was supposed to be? I was supposed to be purchasing an RV with this campsite with water and electricity. I didn't know that. Because I'm bringing we're bringing an RV.
So from my understanding, Camporee did not sell campsites with hookups. And Florida does not have campsites with hookups available for clubs. So in terms of that, there is an RV parking area, and that's first come, first serve, if I understand it correctly, which means whoever gets there, once it fills up, and you'll have to go somewhere else. And we showed that on the map earlier. So that's something for you to see. And then you will be able to pay for a service for your RV to get pumped, for the dirty water to go out, and for clean water to come in.
Okay, all right. So it gets a company for that. So do you know what the contact for this company?
Yes, if you go to the Camporee website, they will have that information there. I don't have that here, but there is a location on Camplex where you'd go. You would pay for the service. They'll give you a ticket. You'll go back to your RV and hang the ticket on your RV, and they'll know that you've paid for service. You'll tell them where you're located. They'll come take care of you.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And there's a question about where cars come in and out. That was on the map that I showed you. Maybe we can go back to that. We'll find out where the booths are to get you that. Let's go to iPhone. Do you have a question again?
Hi, Pastor Pedro. This is Elda Marengo.
Hi, Elda.
Finally, I was able to unmute myself. That's why I could not talk before.
Okay.
But I just want to go back to the check-in because from the CYE Zoom meeting, they said that the directors or the person in charge should go, one person only, for the to register. But now I want to make sure our club, we are all going in different times, all arriving on Monday, but individual cars. So I just want to clarify, when any car coming in is going to go to the Florida booth to have the clear with the YMMS form, and are they individually okay for them to go with their Camporee ticket and register and get the wristband?
Yes.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
Okay, and then is there a parking place there? Well, you don't know where that is yet. Or is that going to be happening in their car as they drive in?
It won't be drive-through. It will be something that you park and come up to the booths. That's my understanding.
All right. So they get out of their car, they get clear from Florida conference, then go to the Camporee booth, get registered, get the wristband, and then drive to gate L to enter the camp.
You got it.
All right. Another clarification on the medical form, consent form. The consent form, is this only for Pathfinders?
No, everyone.
Because the CYE, the website, they have a medical form, and that's what we had everyone to complete. Is that one enough, or do they also need the notarized?
So everybody having a medical form on their person just means they'll get better medical care if something happens to them. If if an adult gets sick or an adult passes out and is unconscious, if they don't have a form on them, people around them might know them, might not know them. They don't know who to contact. So everybody should have a medical form on their person.
And the form in the Camporee website is okay.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure because that's the one we use. And that one and the medical consent from our clubs notarized for the Pathfinder. So they have both.
Good. Yep,
All
that's
right.
good.
Great. Thank
The
you.
map, you're welcome. The map for Camporee will have where to get ice. It will have where to get the RV services done. So please check the Camporee website for some of that information. Let's go to Marlene.
Mr. Pedro, insurance. We didn't purchase the insurance, our treasurer did, but I noticed that you just gave an identified area as to where we should go to pay the insurance. Do I have to give him that information in order for us to pay the insurance, or you could call the further conference and pay the insurance there? Through risk management.
Pastor, we cannot hear you. You're on mute.
Yeah, you're on mute.
There we go. The insurance is not through Florida Conference. It's through the BTP Florida Conference website with the link to risk management. So please make sure that you go there to get that. Risk management will give you that link, and then everybody should have a card. Like you as director should have the information, because if your treasurer bought it, you need that information. So if there is an accident, you know who to contact and how to use it. If you show up, even though you bought medical insurance and you don't have that medical insurance information, they will charge your personal insurance as primary because you have no proof that you bought the travel insurance. So that's an important thing to make sure you understand. Just because you buy it doesn't mean you're covered. You have to buy it, show proof that you have it, turn that in at the hospital when you go, or you're going to pay out of pocket your deductible, your insurance, even though you have the travel insurance and have no proof. So please make sure you have proof with you for every person that you bought medical insurance for.
Okay, so I need to get on the BCPT website through risk management and purchase the insurance there.
I thought you said your treasurer already bought it.
Yes, that's what, but I don't, it was through risk management, because we just
Correct.
submitted the names and give him the money until it was through risk management. But I see you're saying BTP now, but I don't know if that's where we went. The instruction we gave him was that we need the medical insurance, and we just gave him the $10 plus the $20, gave him the group names, and that was it, and left it up to him.
So my suggestion, Marlene, is that you go talk to your treasurer and ask him what needs to be printed out so you have proof that he purchased insurance for all the people that you gave him. That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Yeah, you just need the proof. It sounds like he already purchased it. You just need the documents, the cards, the printout, the paper, the link, the email, something that says these are the people covered. All right. Let's go over to Marie, and then we want to get to the maps.
Yes, I have a question. Can I have the RV? Can I have the RV in my campsite instead of in the RV parking?
So
Hello?
if you can't, you have to work with your club director, because you only get one vehicle at your campsite. So I can't tell you you can have an RV at your campsite. You have to work that out with the director. And if you have an RV at your campsite, that's going to take away camping space for clubs. Usually it's a car or a trailer or something small, so you can fit all the tents and your cooking tent and your food tent. So you need to work that out with your director. If your director says yes, then yes. If no, then no. And if it's no, you have a RV camping area that's an overflow at Camporee that's first come, first serve. So if you get there and there's a spot, you can park. If there's not, you have to go buy a spot somewhere else.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Elizabeth? And then Emerald, and then we'll go to some maps.
Doctor, quería preguntar que estaban hablando de las formas de los médicos para los chicos y también para los adultos. ¿Eso te tiene que llenar en físico también o solamente con lo que está en el Wyoming?
No, tienen que tenerlo en físico.
Okay, pastor.
En su persona. Yeah, so she's asking if they need to have a printed medical form, and the answer is yes. Every child, every adult should have a printed medical form on their person during Camporee. All right, one last question, Emerald, and then we'll go over to some maps to try to get you a basic idea of what we're doing in terms of layout for Florida clubs.
Hey, Pastor Pedro, it's Ruben. Can you hear me?
I can. Hey, Ruben.
Hey, my question is, I've been hearing a little bit of chatter in the central area, the different places that I've been visiting, and they're saying, oh, we don't have to worry about the walk because the shuttle is going to take us to the main program. Now, I don't know if it's taking us back, but it'll at least get us there. I wanted to see if there was some truth to that or just...
Yeah, thank you for asking. If there is truth to it, I don't know about it. So
okay.
I'm guessing that it's not true. What we had said when we opened up for golf cart rentals is that we would have our area administrators and we would have a medical cart that we would try to help people who needed help that didn't rent a golf cart get from our campsite over to the program. So we will do our best, but we have limited resources to do that. And I have not yet heard from Camporee how the shuttles will work to get to the evening program. So those are details that I'm not clear on. If somebody else has information, you can do that. There are shuttles, but at one point I heard shuttles wouldn't be running during program just because it was going to be too much. So that we'll find out when we get to Camporee. Here's the thing that
Pastor Pedro,
yes.
Even with the golf carts, from what I saw on the map, the carts are not going to be going over to the program area itself. It'll be like across the street. They have to stop there, I believe. So anybody being transported medically, I think they still will have to walk, I think, over to the immediate area. And definitely people will need chairs, I think. Maybe you can clarify that.
Yeah, so what I can clarify is there are limited golf cart paths, and what Camporee is trying to do is move golf carts on certain spaces and let walking spaces be just walking spaces. So golf carts will be limited in where they have access. For program, I'm not sure that that's accurate, that they can't get all the way over to program. We'll find out when we get there. So let's wait a little bit on that. And that's a good reminder that Florida Conference, starting 7 a.m. on Tuesday, for everyone who's there, will be hosting a directors meeting. We're asking every club from Florida Conference to bring one person or the director and staff members to that morning meeting. It will be at the Florida Conference headquarters. You'll see a trailer and a tent. And that's something that we want you to come to every morning, where we can give you the latest information and answer some of these questions that we don't have answers to tonight. So please remember that starting Tuesday, 7 a.m., and that will go Tuesday through Sabbath, 7 a.m., that director's meeting. All right?
Dr. Pedro.
Yeah.
It's Jose. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good.
I have something right quick. Can you clarify with Elizabeth, again, Elizabeth, I think was her name, what she meant when she said physical? I think she meant, do adults need to have a physical test, or is the information that YMS is requesting enough? I think that's what she meant. Can you clarify?
Yeah. Elizabeth, si todavía está presente en la reunión, Elizabeth.
Sí, pastor.
Hola, Elizabeth. José está haciendo la pregunta. Si su pregunta fue si los adultos y los conquistadores tienen que tener la forma, el papel, que es su información médica, eso solamente, no que tienen que completar una visita al médico para hacer un físico con el médico, eso no es un requisito. Usted solo quería saber si es el papel que tiene la información de su persona y tiene que tenerlo en su persona, físicamente.
Sí, que si yo lo tenía que llevar de todos, porque yo solamente le había pedido a los chicos, pero no a los adultos. Entonces, por eso era mi pregunta. Si tenía que, porque como lo de los adultos está en el YMS, entonces pensé que más me enfoqué en los muchachos. Y lo otro es, pastor, ¿hay que notarizarlo o no necesita notarizarse?
Vea lo que dice la forma que tiene el link ahí en la agenda de hoy. No me acuerdo si es notarizado o no.
Ok, mándalo una forma, voy a chequear ahorita, pastor. Gracias.
Sí, revisa la agenda o revisa el link en el website. Okay. So Jose, she did just want to know if they needed to personally have it physically on their person. So we're good. All right. And let's go to, does somebody have the link to that form? The question was, does even the adults need to be notarized? And I said, I don't have the form in front of me, so I wasn't sure if it was or not. So if somebody can answer that in the chat. All right, please watch your screen. We're going to go to now what we have as our tentative. For now, this is what our campsites are going to look like. I want to share that with you. We'll start here with the south. All right, central and south. So please get your phones ready, get your cameras out if you want to, and you can take a shot of this, and then we can you can look at it. Once we get this a little more tweaked, we will go ahead and send it out to you by email. So this is Florida Conference Camping Area. Down here in the bottom of the screen is the L gate. This is the entrance. So this is the L gate coming in. This is the coming in, and you'll see that South Florida is all here as you come into the right. Central Florida is all here when you come in, and this is a road. You'll come in and the road will come back. This road will go straight to the back. So if you are looking for information about where you're going to be camping or what you're doing, I'm going to zoom in to the south side. We have tried to accommodate everyone with their requests. So George has been working diligently on this. We do have a section we're calling No Man's Land, and that's because it's not a real good camping area. So that's there, but you'll notice if you're in South Florida, please take a screenshot. We've tried to accommodate all the requests to put this group with that group and try to put people together. If you see that there are some things that you're like, what's going on here or what's there? This is the number of people. You'll notice the dimensions. Some are asking how big's my campsite. This space is 150 feet. So you'll notice half of it's here. So that means 75 feet this way. You'll see 75 feet, and then they'll have this space this way. Here, it gives a little more detail. You have Brazilian Chapel with a space 40 by 70 feet, Fort Myers 40 by 70 feet. And you'll start to see some dimensions of where clubs will be and how they're going to be set up. This is a South Florida headquarters, so it'll be right here. And then I'm going to shift over. So if you wanted a picture, hopefully you got that. I'm going to shift over to Central and make that a little bit bigger so you can see that. You'll notice on both sides of No Man Land in blue, you have South Florida. Here's Central Florida if you want to get that. And then we're going to go up to the top and screen over or scroll over. But again, we've got all these clubs set up and everybody going together. You see your dimensions, take a screenshot, and then there's the central headquarters in this little strip, Orlando Filipino, and then you've got Kissimmee and Forest Lake, and that's how Central Florida looks. So hopefully if you want to get this information and you need the dimensions, at least an idea of what the dimensions will be, here is what you have, and here's how we can work with you. So I'm going to move to another area now. And again, this will be recorded and sent so you can
I
watch
did not get
the
the screenshot. You moved it too quickly.
You need to go back to South?
Yes, please. I can see
Okay.
up. Gotta pull the screen up. I missed
Pedro,
it.
where's the
Thank
L,
you.
the L entrance there?
The L entrance is right here at the bottom.
Okay, thank you.
So all clubs will come in here and there won't be any road. Don't try to drive through here because there's a ditch that you can get stuck and we will block everything. So don't turn anywhere until you come up here to the road or up here to this road or up here to this road. So please don't enter any roads until you get up in this area. And that's where we're going to start having some roads for you to move around. And you'll see that there's a perimeter road all the way around and then through south and around and through south and around. So there will be roads for you. We'll probably close this road because it's too steep right there. We don't want cars going through there. Okay, that's south. So again, screenshot, Central, a screenshot if you want it. I'm going to go up to the top part of Central and then we're going to switch to north and west. So here's the top part of Central. All right. If anybody needs that still, okay, I'm going to go over to another screen. This is the west area. So if you're looking for west and want to get an idea of what our preliminary map is, here's the west area. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So here's our West Florida. You'll see that north and west are sharing a headquarters back here. Every headquarters will have a light tower. Every headquarters will have an RV for OAV, so a place for you to check in. And they'll have a table there, and we'll have charging stations that are on different times throughout the day. We'll have all that scheduled for you. So this is west. If anybody wants to take a photo, I'm going to go away from this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we've got one more to share. Let's get north. So here's North Florida. And north has Bellevue, Tallahassee, everybody there. And that's kind of a grid that most camping would normally be done, where it's kind of the same. So you'll notice, again, if this is 90 feet across, each club would have 45 feet from there and there. And then you'll notice over here, there's some more math. So if you need this part of north, this will be some more math for you with some specifics of the grid. Okay. So you can imagine the big puzzle that this is to put things together and to make it all work. Anybody have a question on this?
Some clubs first you have the dimension, but some you don't. Is there a reason for that?
Tell me again, what was the question?
Some clubs you have the dimension, but some you don't. You just have the number of campers.
Yeah. Let me go back to South. George is here with us. So George, if you want to address anything, I'll go back to South and see if there's something that we can share with you that will help you understand from South.
There's actually hands up, so please don't talk out of turn.
Yeah,
there are a couple of
just to
hands that
answer
were
that
up.
question about the dimensions. The dimensions are not written because perhaps I didn't have enough space within that square to actually write the dimensions, but I do have the measurements that I will be able to share in a little bit at the very end. Again, these are not final dimensions, so this is just a preliminary map or dimension layout that we have.
Yeah, thank you.
I have a question.
Wait, hang on. Let's go to those with the hands up, and then we'll come back to some random questions. Avenel, I think your hand is up.
Yeah, Pedro, good night, everyone. I'm not seeing first SD of West Palm Beach and South area. Could you
What's the
help
name
us
again?
with that? One more thing. First SD of West Palm Beach.
Where there?
Yeah, I think you're there. Let me go back to the screen share and we'll show you where you are. So this is South. We'll get to all the hands, so don't think I'm ignoring anyone. We're just trying to do it ordered. George, if you can help me here.
Yeah. It's right on the middle next to No Man's Land. On the left side, under Eliatha. At the very top.
Yeah,
I see it.
Eliatha and First of West Palm, right here. You see it?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. Okay, let's go to the next hand. Brandon. Oh, it's Evelyn. You're muted.
My question is, the map is not showing us next to the church we wanted to be at. Is that later on that you guys are gonna do that?
So remind us of who you wanted to be next to. We tried to accommodate all that.
Tallahassee first.
So Brandon was supposed to be next to Tallahassee first. George, can you note that? Brandon with Tallahassee first. And those are two different areas, but if we can accommodate that.
Yeah,
You
so
did
that
let
was-
us know that, and that was on our radar. So we'll make the adjustment.
That was the only issue, that they were in two different areas. That was the issue.
Okay. So let us work on that, because that's something that's important, because you guys are sharing resources.
Yes.
So we got to find a way, even if it's across the road, we got to find a way to get them next to each other. Thank you for letting us know that. That's why we're sharing the map with you. Because if we miss something, we want to fix it as best we can.
I'm sorry, what church was that again?
Brandon with Tallahassee First. Brandon English with Tallahassee First. If you can just make a note of those two.
Yeah.
Thank you, Evelyn. Let's go to Molina.
So I have two questions. For the west side, where in the L gate area are we being placed? Is it going to be on the south? Is it going to be north of south and central?
Yeah. So let me come here. George, if you can help me once again, I'm going to go to the big Camporee map and you can guide me to where more or less west will be. So we're back to the big Camporee map. This is the L gate. This is all of Florida. So south is here. Central is here. Is that right, George?
Yes.
And then west and north are back in here.
Correct.
So that's kind of an idea. Does that help?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
Okay. Yeah, no, that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's go to Yadira. Good evening, Yadira.
Yeah, hi. I'm just looking at the site that we got assigned. We're 110 people, and I know like the scale is weird compared to others that are left. The space looks bigger. Can you share the dimensions that I have? I know you said you were going to do it at the end, but I'm kind of trying to understand. We are like a sandwich. I'm on all these people, and we're 110. We're the biggest club in the area, and it feels. And you see, for example, these people, Orlando Spanish, 77, and the place looks super big.
Yeah, I hear you.
This is okay. I'm afraid that I'm gonna get a little, and we're 110 people, and yet the other people have 77, and the space was a lot bigger. So
I understand. That's a fair question. So George, if you can find out the Westchester dimensions and share that with Yadira.
Yeah, it is 70 by 150.
That's a big chunk of land.
Yeah, I mean, just on the screen, I mean, on the actual paper, it's just, I was trying to fit, as many clubs as I can, but the actual dimensions are not to scale, of course.
Any way that you can put me at the end of the line instead of like in the middle of everybody? No, I requested that as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Can you put us at the end of the line?
So like if we move
by the
Brazilian
road,
Temple
by the
and
road.
Elialta, first West Palm down and you up?
Yeah,
that would be the end of south.
At the end, I see.
So like if we moved you from here to the end of south, it would be there.
Oh, no, I was thinking at the end of this
like here.
traffic. Yeah, something like that.
That's by the main road.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want by the main road.
Right. So the other reason why, I mean, you're pretty much the center because everybody is apparently sharing something with somebody else, and it's.
Well, the only people that I would like to that it would be convenient to be close is to Brazilian because we're sharing the golf cart. So like if you move me, then these people here needs to be moved also. But if it's possible and you can give us that piece of land by the road, that would be preferred for and the scale,
Yeah. So that's a good point.
And another question I have, sorry. The no man's land, is that, no, let me ask a different question. How's the terrain? Is it grass or is it dirt?
Yes, it's grass and dirt, and it's not all level. So you may have to shift some things around. Definitely have kids think about bringing a blanket or some kind of cushion. And we also talked about thinking that you need to put something down to prevent cactus needles from puncturing through your tent or puncturing through air mattresses. In terms of the terrain, there are parts, no man's land is the steepest incline. So it's this, it's like you're not going to have a flat piece, but you have a relatively flat piece, right? So this is where when you're camping, you would have kids sleeping with their feet pointing downhill if they need to. You wouldn't have it with their head sleeping downhill. That's not good for them. But we've tried to pick the most level spaces to give clubs the best chance to have the flattest camping experience. So that is something that we have worked on.
So please put me by the road, please. That's something I asked Javier and everything from the get-go.
Yeah, so thank you for reminding us of the request, and we'll try to accommodate. And as you can see in the big puzzle, sometimes we can't easily do everything that everyone's requested, but we have noted your request. Thank you for expressing it, and we'll do our best to accommodate it.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome. This is a chance for me to remind you of a couple other things, and then we'll come back. I think there are some chat things I want to hit. I know it's getting late as well. I am mindful of the time, but I know there are a lot of details we're trying to cover. For those of you who are hosting international clubs, some of you may wonder, what do we do with check-in for the internationals? The way that internationals will check in is they will go to Camporee. Their first stop will be to Camporee. Once they're done checking in with Camporee and they have their wristband, they'll come around to the L gate to Florida Conference, where they will find your campsite and meet you. And then we ask that you, with your international guests that you're a host for, come with them to the headquarters, Florida headquarters, and that's where we'll give you the wristband for your guests, for your internationals, and we'll put an eye on them to say international. So please make sure if you do have internationals you're hosting, they go to Camporee first, get Camporee wristband, and then come over and we'll give them their wristband for Florida in Florida. For banners and club entrances, you are free to build as creative and beautiful an entrance as you want. We just ask that you remember that you can't have it higher than 25 feet high. And that's because it would be a wind hazard, and even 25 feet high might be a wind hazard. Also, remember that they're asking us to not use large stakes, so the larger entrance you have, the more stakes you'll need to stabilize it and hold it down. For banners, club banners, if you have a banner for the parade, you'll want to make sure it's less than 14 feet wide. If you have a club banner that you want to use in the daily on-site parade, make sure it's less than 14 feet wide. The other announcement is we sent out an invitation to a Southern Union Zoom meeting, and that Southern Union Zoom meeting is not for Florida Conference clubs. It was for Florida Conference office staff and OAVs. So if you're an OAV, you can come to that. If you're one of our coordinators, you can come to that. Otherwise, you should not be on that Zoom meeting for Southern Union. Also found out that if you hear an emergency siren, there's a siren being set up, that if you hear that siren, that is the reminder that there is an emergency and you do need to move and do something. They are recommending that every club have a radio that's battery operated, that doesn't require electricity or cell tower, and that radio will help you know what that siren's for, where you're supposed to head to, and you'll get that information at Camporee in terms of what that radio station is. But they are encouraging every club to bring an FM radio that is battery powered. And even in the past, they've had that if the program for some reason is canceled for weather, you could still listen on FM station at your campsite, and they'll play the audio for the Camporee for the evening. All right, George, I think you've been doing some of the chats and getting some of the questions and answering some things there. So let's go check that out, and then we'll start to wrap up. Thank you, George, for hitting all these questions about camping. Let me go back up and scroll. The shower monitoring. Let me start there. The shower monitoring is, and I see Paula, we'll come to you in a second. The shower monitoring is just making sure kids are moving in and out of the showers. You're also checking after each shower that the shower is left clean and that kids haven't used the shower as a toilet, and making sure that if they do, that you ask them to clean up after themselves and you make sure that they move. If they leave a towel, t-shirts, shorts, whatever, shampoo, remind them, hey, please is that yours? And if it's not, then you take it and you put it aside. You're not doing deep cleaning, you're monitoring. You're just watching and keeping the flow. If a kid's in a shower for more than 10 minutes, probably more than 5 minutes, one of the responsibilities is to ask them to move along. Measurements for Sebring, Melbourne Spanish. George, are you able to answer those? They're pending, okay? Yeah, not all the dimensions are there. There will be portlets close by to every camping area, but the big bathhouses, those will be further away. We showed you that on the map. I couldn't read the handwriting. Miami Springs, I think, George, did you answer that one for Miami Springs? If we need to go back to that, we can. If you don't see your club, then please let us know, because we've tried to get everyone in there. Someone didn't see Arcadia Peace River Club. Arcadia Peace River, is that on your radar, George?
Yes, they are. I mean, it's a very small club. Where is it? They are in the in the middle column next to No Man's Land. Under right north of headquarters for the south.
Arcadia, right here. Okay, and then there was one other question for a club. Miami Springs. Where's Miami Springs?
Right under Westchester.
I have a question on that
Right
one.
here is Miami Springs.
Is the count 25 or 28? I can't read that well.
Tell you right now.
Yeah.
South Miami Springs. I have 28.
Okay, good. Thank you.
And Yolanda replied that Brandon is across the street from Tallahassee First. Did you see that, Evelyn?
No.
Okay, let me see if we can go to that real quick, and then.
It's two different maps, that's why.
Oh, got you. Okay, so they are across the street.
They are across the street.
Okay, thank you. So that's good, Evelyn. Hopefully you're still on and got that news.
Thank
Yes,
you.
I see you there. Let's go to Paula.
Hi, Pastor.
Hi.
I just wanted to bring it up because if possible, if you guys move Westchester, if we could be moved because we're sharing golf cart with them. So it would be like easy. I mean, it would be better if possible if we could be moved with them as well.
Thank you, Paula. And we are aware of that. That's a good reminder.
Thank you.
We won't put you guys at opposite ends, and thank you for sharing.
Okay.
And that's
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me also say that because of the limited golf carts, we did do some sharing, and I just want to thank the clubs that are sharing. I know that's not ideal, but we thought it's better to get people something and some help than no help. And with 6 carts, that's all we had available. That was one way we worked it. So yeah, someone's pointing out in the chat that it's not to scale. That's true, it's not. And it's just an idea. We thought we'd get you an idea and at least a picture of what we're putting together. So please don't be upset by that. Please don't let that bother you. We will send you out the dimensions. You'll see everything. You'll see where we put you. We just wanted to share something with you because many clubs are very urgent to get that information. So that's good. A smaller space than other clubs. It's based on the number of people you had registered in YMMS by the deadline. So don't worry about the dimensions yet. What you saw, it was just meant to give you a location, not exactly details. We will be working on a map with details coming up, but all of what we shared with you tonight is temporary until we get to Camporee and can make sure that everything works out the way that we think it will. So you might not have a final map, and even the numbers we say tonight and the numbers we're going to send out with dimensions, those may change as we adjust and adapt to make it work on site. So because it's new, because we're still trying to figure out what we can and can't do, we're going to do our best to keep it like we shared with you and to accommodate all the things that we have. But please keep in mind that this is just a general idea. Mozart, you are up, and then we'll go to Marlene and Jackie.
Thank you, Pastor Pedro. Just a couple of things. First, and I know it was in the recent email that you guys sent, but if you don't mind stating here, the the baptism registration, do we have to send Leah an email, or do we do it through the Camporee website, or both?
The answer is both. And if you go to
Okay.
BTP Florida Conference, those links are there. What you need to fill out for us, what you need to fill out for Camporee, and all the details. So go to our website and it will help you get that information.
Okay. And confirming, you said the invite for that union BTP meeting is not for all directors, it was just for the conference leaders.
Correct.
All right.
Yeah,
And
so
lastly,
you
I
have,
just want to just say thank you to the entire Florida team.
Thank you.
I can imagine today I had my parent meeting and I was explaining to them just the enormity of what is taking place. And I know that you guys have to also work with CYE. So I just want to thank you on behalf of all directors. If I know I'm dealing with all the stuff I'm dealing with, we're all dealing with it, and then you guys on the conference level. So I want to say thank you in advance.
That's kind of you.
For
I
all the
appreciate
stuff
that.
you guys are gonna have to deal with when we, as directors, will sometimes become unreasonable during this upcoming week. But we know that it's all for the kids.
Yeah.
And again, just thank you guys for all your efforts and your sacrifice. We appreciate it.
Thank you. And thank you for what you guys are doing as directors, together with each other, with God's help, working as a team in Florida, working with Camporee. We'll be able to get through this. So thank you for that. And we're happy to work together. Again, dimensions, don't worry about that. Lots of things in the chat. The portal, the entrance can't be higher than 25 feet tall. And if you're in the daily on-site parade, your banner can't be more than 14 feet wide. For medical, for the international clubs, yeah, they can.
I'm in a Zoom meeting.
They're supposed to put, they're supposed to purchase medical as well for the international
Okay.
guests. So they should also have. I'm gonna mute you, Yadira. Sorry, you were on speaker here. As international guests, they're also supposed to get medical. So please make sure that they're doing that. Yes, drawings aren't to scale. Thanks for pointing that out. Main showers, we looked at that in the map. They're down below Florida Conference on the other side of that main entrance road off of Elgate, and there's one on each end. Florida Medical will be at Florida headquarters, and there are several layers of medical. First is your club medical. You're the club that has the first response. If you need a Band-Aid, if you need aspirin or something, ask your local club to help you. That's where your club medical comes in. If you have something your club medical can't handle, then come to conference medical. If conference medical feels like it's bigger than what they can handle, they'll pass it on to Camporee medical. If Camporee medical, which is all volunteers, can't handle it, they'll pass it on to 911, call an ambulance in. But please do your best to cover things from your club. We'll cover our best from Florida Conference at our headquarters, and we'll pass you on if necessary. Thank you. Someone else said thank you. You can start working based on our measurements. Just know that it's not exact and that it may change. We're going to try not to make it change. Correct. No private golf carts are allowed. No more golf carts are available to rent. Dimensions still there. Medical forms for adults, those also are the same form as the kids, and that's in your agenda. Leah, if you're still on, can you post the agenda into the chat? So if somebody didn't get the email or needs to refer to the agenda with all the links, they can get it there. Yeah, don't worry if your space is smaller. It's okay. All right, let's go to Marlene. What's your question?
Yes, Pastor, just the sentiments. That was a good segue because a daunting a task as it is, I just want to really express my gratitude for the hard work and the detail work that you are doing at that level. But my question is, I know you're trying to accommodate everyone by moving them to put them beside club of their choice and for easy access. But where Lauderdale is positioned, I don't know if in doing these movements, it would affect Lauderdale. We are a club that is planning to get out there on Sabbath evening. That's why I asked a question earlier on about time the bus can get on. If at all would prefer to be close to the road or where we are located presently, so that if we want to get out there, we are not deep in and we'll be able to access the roadway. Because last time what we did, we were nearby the road and we were able to move our things up out the road at sunset and were able to get out there before, because the club could not come back and the bus could not come back on the campsite. And looking at where we're located, I think it was good, it is easy access. So my plea is in trying to accommodate the other clubs, which we want everybody to be comfortable. I'm just requesting that Lauderhill be placed at a spot where we can have easy access to our bus, and where we are located, it looks feasible. So we don't want to move into an area that compromises us when we're ready to leave, because we'll be leaving Saturday evening.
Thank you for sharing that.
Back for school on Monday morning. So we'll be leaving on Sabbath evening. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And this is a good chance to remind everyone too, that coming in the L gate is a one-way street. What does that mean? Cars only come in. The exit is through a different gate. So please keep that in mind. It's a one-way street there on the L gate coming in. And it's not just Florida using the L gate, it's Florida and South Atlantic. So there are two conferences sharing that gate. And there's also another conference that they're going to route in just for buses. So the L gate will be full. Let me just also take the opportunity to say this. Think that there are 60,000 people coming. So just put your head around that, 60,000 people. So it's going to take time. There are going to be lines. Things won't move as fast as you'd like. So please just take a breath, be patient, wait your turn. Remember that you love Jesus, you love people, and remember that this is just a chance to say, hey, I'm going to do my best. Everybody else is trying to do their best. And thank you in advance for cooperating with us. All right. Let's go to Jacqueline there alongside her husband. Look at that. Good evening, Pastor Amich. I don't hear you, Jackie.
Thank you. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you for answering every question, no matter what time of the day. I really appreciate you very much. I wanted to clarify the number of people that we have in Fort Lauderdale Spanish.
Okay.
Is there Fort Lauderdale English too? Because I saw only one Fort Lauderdale Spanish.
Tell me more. What are we asking?
The thing is that we are hosting a Philippine French. Philippine French is not listed and it's not included neither. So, and I know they were not registering in the YMSS. We were helping them, but there are 9 of them that we needed to include it in our campsite because they're going to be staying with us. So if there any way that you consider that as well as our total numbers. First of all, the 36 that it's showing doesn't look clear. It looks like a 1 or 2, something like that. But if we can add because we're truly helping them to come over. We're giving, it's like, we're not having no benefit at all, not even on payment or anything. We're just helping them to come along. So if we can consider them, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, so let's go to George. George, do you have it's Philadelphia, yes, or
Philadelphia French, I'm sorry,
Philadelphia French with Fort Lauderdale Spanish. Do you have that on your grid?
Jackie, they're there. I see them.
You see them?
Yeah, they're right underneath you. They're right underneath you. They're next to Lauderhill.
Yeah. Let me go back and share it because I want you to see it. Sometimes seeing it helps make sense of it. So let's go there.
Yeah, right in the middle, right next to you, or right under you, actually. Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, there's only one Fort Lauderdale. There's no English going. So that's actually Fort Lauderdale Spanish with Philadelphia French right under it. Philadelphia.
And George, what number do you have for Fort Lauderdale Spanish? Is that a 36?
That's a 36, yes.
And then 9 underneath. Do you see that, Jackie? 36 for Fort Lauderdale Spanish and 9 for Philadelphia French.
Appreciate it. The other thing, you see West Hollywood Spanish? West Hollywood Spanish is on the corner on Miami Temple. We were helping them as well. If we can put them like across in the other corner and move Davie where West Hollywood is right on it. There you go. So if we can switch them and then put them on this corner along with us, that will be amazing.
Okay. So Hollywood over to Davie, Davie over to Hollywood.
No, down. Down not under David, but if you can bring them down where we can share the line with Fort Lauderdale,
Yeah.
diagonally across.
So this one over to this one down in this area.
Exactly. That will be fantastic.
Man. All right. George, is that possible? Can you consider that?
Yeah, I could consider that. That shouldn't be an issue.
Okay, yeah. And again, that's the big picture of why we wanted you to see the map, because you sent in requests, we did the survey, we did the questionnaire, Leah was working on that, Javier's been working on it, George has been working on it. We've all looked at it, but we said, did we get it right? We want you to look. So it's not the scale, everything's not specific, it's not real clean, but man, we got something to share with you tonight. So you at least have some idea of where things are, and that's the big picture of what we wanted. So thank you.
We appreciate you very much. All of
Thank you,
that are
Jackie.
working, appreciate it.
You're good, yes?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let's go to the next question with Marcia.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Pastor Pedro.
Yes.
And appreciate also the hard work. I just wanted to get that swag for Fort Pierce, the estimated measurements, if you have that, please.
For Fort Pierce, let's see what George can share with you. I think it's 20 by 20. Is that big enough?
For 33 people.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. George will figure something out. Cheryl is still smiling after 2 hours of a Zoom meeting. I love it. Good job, Cheryl Smith.
We love you guys.
Thank you.
We
love
appreciate all you
guys
do.
too. Of course. It takes us all to make it work.
It's an army.
Yes. All right. So George is looking that up. It's Fort Pierce, yes?
Yes. That's
Okay. So he'll look that up and type it in the chat or speak it if you have it. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Pierce.
Okay, so when you're ready, George, just let me know, but I'm going to start concluding our meeting. I know you guys know that it's a lot to get to Camporee, right? Like it takes a lot of effort, a lot of energy, a lot of details, a lot of planning, a lot of meetings, a lot of focus. And I just pray that you'll continue to do your very best. I know you have so far. Trust that we're doing our very best. No one's trying to mess you up. No one's trying to short you. No one's trying not to give you what you need. We're all doing the best that we can, and we're doing it because we love God. We love kids. We want to see kids, Pathfinders, have a great experience there. So thank you in advance for all that you're doing to work with your parents, to communicate to them details. The reason we've been doing all these Zoom meetings is to try to get you up to speed and help you know what to expect and know how to plan, because we want you to have a great experience. It's going to be very important that starting on Tuesday, 7 a.m., everybody's coming to those morning meetings. Somebody from your club that then goes back to your club and has a meeting with your club. We want you to be informed. Javier is on here as our camping director. And Javier, I want to open up for you to share something, anything that's on your mind. I know you had a list of some things that you wanted to share with clubs. George, did you get the dimensions?
Yes, I did. I already gave it to them. To her.
Okay, so you're good. And watch the chat if you would. There's stuff there. Sorry, Javier. I think you started and then I jumped in. Let's turn it over to Javier.
That's okay. That's okay. I just want to say to all the people who are here tonight, thank you for bringing your kids. This is a big event and it's not easy. I just want to make sure that, and this is one of my goals, is to make sure that you guys are happy. This is something that I really wanted to do. And I'm going to be working with George to see if we can do whatever isn't done. We needed to be done to move some things around if we need to make sure that you get what you wanted. I only have a few things, Pastor. I think you did a very good job covering everything. But I just want to add something that when I was there in September last year, the locals told me this, and I want to share it with you. Just be careful when you drive at night. There's a lot of wildlife on the roads. And if you are one of those drivers who need to get there at night, so just be careful. Be careful when you're driving. And the last thing that I want to emphasize is on the monitors for the showers. Please go to the link. I wanted to have this done tonight if possible. Go to the link and see what spaces are available. and just volunteer people from your own churches, from your own clubs. We have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we had this new idea of having 2-hour shift instead of 4, and you're gonna still volunteer for 4 hours, but you have 2 hours, and then if you want to do a break, you can do it the other 2 hours later. So please go tonight and or the latest tomorrow, so we can finalize with this event that we need to do. And we're doing this for the Southern Union, and we're in charge of the Tuesday showers for the entire day. And after we done that, it's just Saturday 2 shift. So please help us with doing that. I already talked to the OABs and the people at the conference to sign up, but I still have spaces available that I need to fill out. But thank you so much. And again, thank you for bringing your kids. I'm gonna do my best to be available and to if I don't know you, I would like to know you at the Camporee and shake your hand. Thank you so much.
Javier, also just a reminder, we need both male and female, persons to sign up to monitor the shower. We need both male and female.
That is correct. Thank you.
Thank you for that. All right, guys. I'm putting some answers in the chat and helping try to answer some things. Norma, do I see your hand going up and down? I don't hear you. I'm not sure why. I don't see that you're muted, but I don't hear you. Still don't hear you. Maybe type something in the chat. Okay, so thank you. This will be recorded. We'll post this onto the website. And all right, someone's saying from the website, it's only for children. I do recommend you use it still for adults so that everybody has something on their person. Thank you, Sister Hunt. Appreciate that. All right, very good. Norma,
Question about the cacti.
Yep, I did answer that in the chat. Don't destroy cacti, cut cacti, dig out cacti, work
What's
around
the
them.
protocol? We have to work around it?
Please. Correct. All right. What's this other question here? Let me hit that real quick. I'm hosting internationally a family of 4. You've added them in YMMS. Yeah, so Camporee is working with all the background checks for internationals and working that out with them. So that's why they'll go to Camporee first. After Camporee, if you're a Florida Conference Club hosting, you'll come with your guests to the Florida headquarters where you'll get their Florida wristband with them. So international guests, Camporee first, come meet you at Florida. You as the host director, come with them to the headquarters. For Florida clubs, Florida Conference first, booth, Camporee booth, get back in your vehicle, go to Florida campsite. All right. Very good. Ivan, I'm not sure what your question is for question marks. Oh, there. Yeah, that we just answered. Good. Braden in Spanish. Thank you, Heido. Oh, it's nice to see you, Heido. That's good. Royal Palm, George answered you. Newport Richie, I think we're good there. All right. Dale Smith, what's possible? I think you got it. All right. So that's it. Thank you very much for coming on. I'm going to close us with a prayer, and then we'll turn everybody loose to go off. And if you want to stay on the Zoom a little bit longer, we'll stay around if you had a question but didn't want to ask it in front of everybody. But thank you for being here. Join me as we pray to end our Zoom meeting. Our God and our Father, thank you for this privilege to be a part of something as historic, as enormous as Camporee, something as powerful as Camporee. And Father, as we continue to prepare our hearts and our minds, I pray that we would take time just to make sure that we're connected to you, that we're trusting you, that we're doing all that we can, but that we're also trusting you to do all that we can't, and that you're coming through for us. So help us to do our part, help us to trust that you'll do your part. And Father, above all the details and planning and all the stuff we've gone over, we're asking that you would bless every Pathfinder of every club and every international guest, not just with Florida, but for the whole Camporee attendance. That there would be a sense of your spirit in that place, that there would be a sense of your spirit moving and your power, and that Pathfinders would leave there with a mental memory for the rest of their lives of how good you were, how you showed up, how you made your presence known, how you spoke to them. And I pray that as a result of Camporee, there will be young people who say they want to be missionaries, they want to be teachers, they want to become pastors, they want to change their life career because they taste a picture of how you want to use their life. I pray for our TLTs. I pray for our younger Pathfinders. I pray for all the adults, the directors. Help us to be with eyes wide open to what you're doing, to see how your spirit's moving in the lives of each Pathfinder, to have those one-on-one conversations, to encourage them to give Jesus first place in their life, to make him best and first and last in everything that they do, and help us to do that as adults as well. For the things we have to do still, I pray that you'll help us. For the things that we are excited about, pray that you'll continue to bless us as we look forward to Camporee, and help us as we work with one another and with you to make this a great experience for everyone. We thank you for all these things in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
everyone. I'm stopping the recording. And again, if everyone